nice week of training that, and then got a rest week next week, so recover from the training a little bit, have a bit of a deload. Yeah, got some really good sessions done this week. First of all, Monday drop-in session. That was really productive, so using that 2-hour slot on the track to try and get as much time hitting the bends at race speed. So what I'd do is I'd go round the track and kind of build up some height. I'm looking around, looking behind me, looking in front, as far in front as possible, which is a bit difficult at the moment at Derby because of the pantomime, we've got the curtains up, so you can't see all the way around the track. But trying to be as safe as possible, gauge who's on the track and where they are, and then drop in from height, and then take like 2 or 3 bends at race speed. Because I've just found that it's pretty easy holding a nice line on the track when you're at those slower speeds, but when you increase the speeds, it becomes exponentially harder. Utilizing that time to spend more time at race speed, and because it's just a lap and a half, I'm not completely gassing myself out. Yes, it's a little bit of a sprint, but it's not the same as having to build up that speed and then sustain it. So yeah, you can spend a good amount of time hitting bends at speed, getting up to that 55 plus k an hour, which is what I need to be doing for doing well at the IP. So yeah, that was really nice, and then combine that with doing specific sessions where I'm holding the black line at speed for longer reps, like those 2k reps that I'm aiming for. That should put me in a really good position for the IP, which is what I did on Friday. Went down to a sprint session, as wasn't able to do sprint session on Monday. I went to it on Friday evening, which was a good session on the whole. I was a little bit down about it. Just I wasn't as switched on from the get-go. I didn't have time on track just to feel it out. I hadn't been on track since Monday, so that first rep wasn't great. I was kind of getting forced up the track with the speed I had, because I was wearing my skin suit and helmet, so I kind of had that new speed and struggling to control that. But at the end of the day, those 4 reps were probably most productive so far, just because they're at that higher speed. I was getting the power out. Yeah, my line wasn't great, but it was getting better rep to rep. Having to just be on the rollers and then get on the track and just expecting to be able to hold a good line, but all come with time. And thinking about it, it's like the drop-in sessions are becoming like less useful. I can utilize them to hit bends at speed, but I think it's going to be that doing the longer reps at speed it's the most specific stimulus for training for the IP. So ideally it's going to be doing more of those, but get as much experience on the track as I can prior to hopefully setting a qualifying time before track league at the start of the new year. We'll just see how it goes. If I can't set the time, then no worries. I just continue training at the track for the winter period, and maybe there's some open events a little bit later in the year, or even just like towards the end of the year, get that track time and get a nice qualifying time sorted before the 2027 championships. But yeah, hopefully I can set that 4:35 qualifying time and do the British champs. But I can't force myself to get better at the track, but I'm seeing myself improving every session I spend there, which is the main thing. Other stuff I did, had a couple of training sessions, so high torque session and like a maintenance threshold session. High torque session was good. I bumped up my 1 minute high torque efforts to 540 watts around 50 RPM. So really bumping up the torque. And halfway through, so 5 reps in, I was kind of a bit cooked, so I did drop that back to 520 watts and still down at 48, 49 RPM. On the whole, I averaged 530 watts, 50 RPM, I think it was. So it's basically ended up being the same torque as last week. I think it was the week before was 520 watts, 49 RPM, which was 101 Newton meters. I think this week was 530, 50 RPM, which was also 101 Newton meters, but obviously at that higher power. And I spent that time at 540 watts, which was really good. Productive session there. And then did a maintenance threshold session, which felt surprisingly good. Felt really easy pushing that power, especially at a lower cadence. Just increase the resistance of the trainer and just have something to push against. And yeah, just felt heart rate wasn't crazy low, but I just felt really under control for those efforts. And And yeah, I've been experimenting with like a budget Morton bicarb type system. So taking a slurry of xanthan gum and sugar, and then knocking back some sodium bicarb tablets. Still at a lower dose of bicarb tablets, like 5 grams, which isn't crazy at all. Like efficacious dose for me is more like 20 grams, I think, on the Morton system. It's like Morton 24, which is like 24 grams of bicarb, which is just crazy. Like the tablets I'm having have bulking agents in them, so they're quite big tablets for 500 mgs of sodium bicarb. Taking 20, no, taking 48 of those, that's just bonkers to me. Like I'm taking 10, so 5 grams of bicarb just to kind of get used to it. It's probably not an efficacious dose. Get used to consuming this weird concoction of chemicals. But yeah, it's crazy how much you have to have for the efficacious dose, and it's part of the reason why I'm doing the heat training afterwards. It's like I'm taking on a huge amount of sodium. I'm not putting salt in my bottles because of it, and then I'm doing the heat training to kind of like sweat it all out afterwards. Well, sweat a good amount of it out, and using the heat training to build up to it, work out how to introduce the heat training for me. I've struggled with it in the past and maybe got ill because of it. Didn't fuck around with it at all this year. But yeah, trying to see if I can introduce it now that I've like found that this lower volume training works well for me. Can I introduce these different stimuluses, and then obviously with the aim of getting better. Other major thing this week was that I tweaked my back pretty badly squatting on Wednesday after my high torque session, and I tweaked my back 2 weeks before deadlifting. Nothing irregular about the sessions that I was doing. I'd warmed up properly, and I was multiple sets into the session. When I was deadlifting, it was on my fourth set. So I'd done three sets of what I targeted, and I was coming towards the end of my final set, and then my back just goes pop. It's like, have I seriously just tweaked my back? And then the same happened squatting. This time it was on my second set, but perfectly warmed up, really gradually bumping up the weights, getting to my working sets, and then yeah, my back just pops partway through the set, and I'm just like, what the hell? I'm so experienced in the gym, and then I'm tweaking my back, and it was very strange to me, but it's got me thinking. It's just like, thankfully my back's feeling better. I wasn't sure before my track session on Friday because my back had still been super achy on my rest day on the Thursday, but thankfully I got to the track, and yeah, it all loosened up and I was able to get my session done, and it was a productive session. But yeah, it's got me thinking about the usefulness of the gym for me. Obviously, we know that as cyclists we should be hitting the gym. It's going to make us better athletes. But at the end of the day, I have like a very strong base of gym I had before I started cycling. So the impact of hitting the gym is going to be probably less for me. And also I need to like really hit the gym hard to improve, just because of the nature of progressive overload. I'm at a decent level at the gym, and to get any better, I really need to try hard at it. And I'm at the start. I'm like still very much towards the start of like a building phase at the gym. What I'm doing isn't very crazy. I'm at those lower weights, higher reps. Maybe if I was at the higher weights, lower reps, I'd expect it'll be riskier, and I'm more likely to tweak my back. But tweaking my back at the start of this build phase, it's like, is it worth it hitting the gym for me? So yeah, that's something I'm thinking about as to is it's worthwhile. I didn't do much gym during the 2024 season. Just did like a maintenance level during the 2025 season, and it's only really been the winter that I've hit the gym harder. But yeah, I'm just thinking, if I'm not gaining much from it and I'm getting better on the bike regardless of it, just eliminate that risk and don't hit the gym. Just do the rehab and maybe the unilateral work just to keep my body moving in the way it needs to be. But yeah, progressively overloading my compound movements. Maybe those days are behind me. I'm almost 25. I'm getting a bit too old for this, maybe. But at the end of the day, like I'm doing the gym to try and get better on the bike. If it's not actually going to be getting me any better on the bike, then what's the point? So yeah, really going to have to be thinking about that over the next few weeks. How I want to address that. But current school of thought is probably like maintain the unilateral stuff, try and push that a little bit, and then maybe just been off my squats and deadlifts, been off the compound movements. But as someone with many years of gym experience and lifting well within myself, warming up properly, it's like it's very strange to me how that happened. But thankfully it was nothing serious, and it's just taken a few days of feel like I'm going to bed feeling like I'm going to wake up paralyzed in the morning, and then thankfully it's all sorted itself out. But yeah, it's kind of not worth the risk for me if I'm going to tweak my back every couple of weeks and have a few days of wondering if I'm going to be able to ride the bike for the season. It's like I don't want that, and I'm not getting better if I'm having to do that. The only thing that I can think of is both times the gym training session was like a few hours after my high torque session, so multiple 1 minute reps at very high Newton meters, which maybe that's quite stressful on the back. But yeah, really happy with how the training's going. Rest week next week, and then continue chugging away. But really not doing anything too silly, not pushing the boat out too far. Because I know I've got overexcited in the past, especially this time of year, and done too much. But yeah, really happy with how things are going at the moment.